everybody. Good morning. Good morning. It is January the 20th. It is Monday morning. It is Inauguration Day in Washington, D.C. It is Martin Luther King Jr. Day on the entire federal level. And it is a chilly morning in Central Florida. Rise and shine. I'm WESH 2 First Warning Meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week in the morning, chat, see what's doing in the world of weather. First off, let's just look at temperatures around town. Here we go. It's 46 in Orlando. We're sitting at 39 in Leesburg. Yeah, it's excuse me. It's a little chilly out for sure. 37 degrees in Ocala, 39 in the Villages, even into the lower 50s back over to Melbourne. So when we compare temperatures right now to this time yesterday, 25 to 30 degrees colder. That, my friends, is a big, big change. Dramatic. Not necessarily talking about freezing temperatures in our area. Here's a look at the readings again. Right, like 37 in Ocala, 37 in Palm Coast, but it's definitely a dramatic shift. So just if you haven't stepped out the door yet, I haven't. Just know it's going to be long sleeve weather. Lots of clouds over top. Here's a live look at our tower cam network. We're taking over to Daytona Beach. It's beautiful, but it is chilly, chilly, chilly. All right, top weather stories for you. Nice and cold this morning. But this week, we still are tracking this winter weather, this winter storm system that, interestingly enough, may bring snow and sleet to parts of the Sunshine State. Not necessarily at my house, but other places. All right, so this is a look at winter storm advisories. All right, in that kind of grayish color, those are winter storm watches. More than likely will be upgraded to winter storm warnings. There are none of those in our area, but just to the north, okay, Gainesville, Putnam County, Alachua County, those areas under winter storm watches. You don't get winter storm watches very often, okay? Jacksonville not currently under a winter storm watch, but let's talk a little bit about it. All right. Parts of the Jacksonville metro are, and it's been 2,500 days since that's been the case, back in 2018. And to take it one step further, the Panhandle has not seen winter storm watches for almost 11 years. And yet, the Panhandle under winter storm watches. 4,000 days. So this is not something that happens very often at all. So let's look at the dynamics of this. And it hasn't, the overall setup hasn't changed. The timing is kind of trying to work itself out. Essentially today, we've got that cold air that dived in with the cold front that moved through yesterday, right? We had the thunderstorms, some nastier wind gusts, right? All that moisture is to our south. You see it there on the surface map. What happens now, okay, is that front starts to back up to the north. So what we end up with is by tomorrow morning, we'll start to see a few showers, and we're going to take you through on our Futurecast model hour by hour by hour, okay? There comes the heavy rain tomorrow midday. Heavy rain. It's going to be a crummy day, honest to goodness, okay? But look over to New Orleans. Now, before we go much further, that snow in New Orleans could be up to an historic level. I mean, we're talking about inches and inches of snow in New Orleans. That's going to be a mess. All right, fast forward to 6 o'clock tomorrow night. That snow starts to move into the Panhandle. We're still sitting in a sloppy, rainy mix. And I would add as well, we will not have temperatures around freezing. We will not be seeing snow at 6 o'clock tomorrow. But my gut tells me we're going to start to get those emails from people that are like, my Ring camera captured snow. And it's like, no, that's misty rain. But my Ring camera got it. No, friend. That's just misty, breezy rain. Anyway, the interesting part of this dynamic is when that area of low pressure scoots in and drags cold air down further south. So 9, 10 o'clock on Tuesday. Again, this is the wide shot, but you can see as that area of low pressure crosses the state, on the backside, it's going to try to pull down some of that rain snow line. Just how far, we have to wait and see. but we're not expecting snow in Orlando. Okay. But the question is going to be, how far does that winter glaze, if you will, move? Okay. Looking at percentages of freezing rain, there's a low chance of freezing rain in Marion County, right? You get into Gainesville, you're getting into a medium threat for freezing rain. So the next couple of days, that's kind of where we're at. So let's do this. All right, I've got our Futurecast model dialed up, and let's just take you through today, tonight, tomorrow. All right, let's go through. So for today, clouds around. Probably going to see a little more sunshine later in the day. And then notice later in the day, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, the clouds are really rolling in. And by tomorrow morning, we're starting to get those showers. I'm going to bring this full screen. I want you to see this as big and high resolution as you possibly can. We're broadcasting in stunning 1920 by 1080 high definition. Coffee talk. Only the best for you. All right. So continuing on. Getting ready for work and school tomorrow morning, right? I think we're probably going to have showers around. It's going to be a cool morning. It's not going to be like frigid, but it's going to be a cool morning. We'll be tracking rain on our live radar for Coffee Talk tomorrow. Then through lunchtime, look at that. Cloudy skies, rain around. Yeah, it's not going to be nice. Into the afternoon, we kind of start to quiet down, but look in that top left corner. You're seeing that next wave of moisture moving in. Here's 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Probably going to be talking about sleet, grapple up into the panhandle, right? For us, just passing showers. But notice as early as 10 o'clock at night, probably tracking some showers, transitioning into freezing rain across Gainesville. Our Futurecast model is even saying it could be getting into Marion County. Now, yesterday, if you saw my little video, Futurecast had that sleet line going all the way into like areas north of I-4. It has absolutely backed off on that. I think this is a much more accurate representation. If I lived in Marion County, I suspect you probably have a pretty good chance of getting some sort of a crossover, a changeover there. Late Tuesday, all right, let's continue on. 2 a.m., kind of north, 3, 4 in the morning. Now, here's where it gets interesting. That area of low, you see how it's pouring around Central Florida. That's the area of low pressure crossing. So then Wednesday morning should be the time when we start to pull some of that colder air back in. So the question is, right, you can see 6 a.m., it's got that freezing rain, that transition. Does not have snow. Notice there's no white, it's all pink. That's freezing rain. That's ice. That's a mess. Right? But it's got it going into Marion County. So just so that you know, I plan on being in the weather lab tracking that at that time. Okay? Just so that you know. So we're all on the same page here. Chris says, so we're really going to have to fake the sunshine disposition tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow may be one of those days. And then Wednesday morning is going to be gross. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. It's going to be gross. Lots of rain. The question will be, what point does it transition, right? So I will be with you in the weather lab on Wednesday morning. We're going to be doing our things. So Coffee Talk will be at 5 a.m. on Wednesday. We'll figure it out, Debbie. I mean, if I'm just driving in the weather lab, yeah. We'll see. Yeah. Driving to work may be crummy on Wednesday morning in Ocala, Carol says. It may be crummy. Yeah. So where can we go to see the snow above the icy part? Yeah, so I mean, to that point, we're gonna have to, we're putting together our coverage plan for WESH, right? Let me just run through here. I'm gonna turn off the clouds. All right, so where can you go to see snow? I'm just gonna make the map 2D. I mean, so there you go, right? Like Tallahassee, Valdosta, right? Yeah. You see right in there, like north of Lake City, 7 p.m. on Tuesday. That's, Waycross, Georgia. And then you can kind of see how that's 11 p.m. Tuesday, how the snow starts to just turn into a bunch of freezing rain, that sort of thing. But like my friend Jeremy Nelson, look at that. Snow in Savannah. Like a good amount of snow in Savannah from 7 p.m. on Tuesday to midnight. Like snow in Savannah. I don't know how often that happens, but snow in Savannah. So there you go. So this looks to be a pretty messy forecast. So here's the 7 day, okay? Let's just detail this, right? So today mostly cloudy, it's going to be a cool day. Impact weather this morning for the big chill. Then we look ahead to Tuesday, Wednesday, impact weather because it's going to be cold and it's going to be rainy. And in our northern spots, yeah. Now, let's look at temperatures because remember, we were looking at Futurecast. Let's just go back to it real quick. All right. So Wednesday morning, 5, 6 a.m., right? There's Futurecast showing that transition. It's going to have to do not just with surface temperatures, but it's also going to have to do with kind of atmospheric temperatures. So, Wednesday morning, let's just look at our Wednesday morning temperatures. Okay, just above freezing in Ocala, right? 45 in Orlando. You're not going to get snow in Orlando. You're not going to get, but could we be talking about some areas, some little sleet, some grapple, that kind of thing? It's funny, we don't track this very often. This kind of a weather pattern, once every couple of years. As a matter of fact, I did the nerd research, and if you've been watching Coffee Talk for a couple of days, then this is not going to be lost on you. You've probably seen this before. But last time that we got snow in Orlando's area, 2008, and I backed it up. I had the pictures on the phone. Um, Across I-95 particularly, though I saw it as well into Seminole County. And sleet was 2022. Now, if you're unfamiliar, if you're a Floridian through and through, you're like, I don't even understand. So this is the fancy precipitation type explainer graphic, okay? So let's just go from left to right to be nerdy. First off, you got the clouds. Cloud emits the moisture. Warm column of air. Frozen precipitation melts as it reaches the ground as rain, right? We know this. This happens in Florida. All right, let's talk about freezing rain. Frozen precipitation melts in the warm air, falls as rain, and then freezes on cold surfaces. So basically, you're looking at chilly air right at the surface layer. All right, sleet. Frozen precipitation melts, then refreezes onto sleet before the surface. So it's water, and then at some point in the atmosphere, it freezes over again and comes down as sleet. And then, of course, snow is just, it never melts. Okay, so to that point, then, you know what we're going to do. Give me a few seconds. I'm going to swap some models around. Convection allow. We don't need convection allowing, but it's fine. All right, let me get this turn. So we're going to look at some skew T's. All right. This is where we get nerdy. KOCF. All right, so we're in Ocala. Okay. Now we get to look at the temperature profiles. This, by the way, is a resource on a website called Pivotal Weather. It is free, available to anyone. But what we're looking at is we're trying to figure out precip types. We're trying to figure out the changeover, that sort of thing. How far out does the NAM go? Is it just 13 hours? So this valid Tuesday at 8Z. We need it to go. There we go. Ah, okay. All right. So let's just look at this atmosphere here. All right, I'm gonna make all right, the sounding data. All right, so we're not in like severe weather mode, so we can just kind of take a little bit of a close look here. All right. So, so 35 dew point, 36 at the surface. Notice it gets warmer with height, right? So you've got. So this is all like severe weather based. I'm just looking to see like does it the freezing layer. See, I mean it's just above the surface, but there's a column of warm air. Let's go back. Let's go back. 37 air temperature. So it's super saturated for almost the entire atmosphere. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah. I mean, there's enough warm air there. It's a little bit of an inversion layer there. I mean, this is the NAM. Does the HER extended go out this far? I don't know that it goes out 47. Oh, it does it? Okay. 5Z on Wednesday. Okay. All right. Air temperature 38. I mean, you've got that super saturated layer of air there. Yeah. We'll see. It's cold right over our heads, and then it gets warmer right at the surface. It looks like, I mean, that looks like rain to me. That doesn't have, yeah, that doesn't have the screaming, freezing rain or sleet or snow. We'll see how that play. Look, we'll see how this plays out, right? Like we'll look. We'll continue to look. That's a her as far as the her can go. Now, of course, if I were to switch to like the GFS or something, I'm sure that it'd go crazy. Lower resolution. Yeah. So we'll see. All right, so it's warmer there. 51, 30. It's super saturated. It looks like there's going to be a little bit of warm air over top. We'll watch. We'll watch. Listen, we'll watch. But that's the kind of stuff that we look for in order to determine precip type is you're looking in the column of air to see if there's any warm layer. And it looks, I mean, at the moment, it looks like there's going to be just enough warm air around that, it's probably going to be rain or we could get some transition of sleet where it just, you could see where it got a little colder at the surface. There's a little bit of a layer of warm air. So above, so we'll see. Not often that you have this kind of a forecast though. Yeah. So that's the way that goes. Probably driving to Tallahassee and hope for some snow Wednesday morning and daily. Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like that. Yeah. Oh, can you pull up a SKU for Tallahassee or New Orleans and see the difference? Yeah, sure. All right. Give me a second. All right. We'll type in TLA. Oh, KTLH. All right. Da, 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 da. So we'll do like 36. All right. So there's dry, dry. This is Tallahassee here. Going forward. Moistening up the column of air. There we go. We're moistening it up. Moistening it up. Dew point of 14, air temperature of 38. Moistening up that column of air. It's Tallahassee. 39 surface. There we go. You see the difference. 30 and 32. That's a mess. So see how the last kilometer at the very bottom, see that temperature drops and then it comes up just a little bit, but as it comes up, it's not going above freezing. You see that? So you've got a nice sub-zero air mass all the way up. Okay, so you're freezing all the way up to like 500. You've got the freezing elements there, the entire column of air. Okay, then as you're doing that, it comes above freezing. Maybe it's a surface, but you've basically got a column of air super cold that last kilometer. So you've got a little bit of a temperature inversion there. So that's going to cap the moisture. But yeah, that's Tallahassee, and that's the difference, right? So that's 42. Look at that. Just super cold, super moist air mass. Yeah. You see how it's all sitting there riding that line. Then you start to get a little bit of dry air eroding in, a little more dry air eroding in, a little more dry air eroding in as that clears on out for them. And then, of course, for us, KOCF. See, for us, the temperatures are going to be above freezing for a good part of that air mass. Atmospherically. I mean, it may freeze over. We could get some freezing rain, but it's going to be above freezing for most of that column of air there. Yep. Yep. So, anyway. Nancy says, I got true jitter juice this morning. Good morning to you. Is that strong coffee? Is that what you're talking about? It's an interesting forecast. It's an interesting. So this is the product that we put together. This is kind of the thought process. Snow well to the north, ice in our northern spots. Yeah. Scott Tanner says it was January 8th, 9th, 2010. Widespread sleet from Ocala all the way down through Central Florida. So we've got January 3rd of 2008 for snow in Orlando. Yeah. Glad I don't live in the Panhandle, Carol says. Hey, everybody's going to get their thing. Everybody's going to get their thing. If it's not one thing, it's another. Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. Blue Goose says 3 weather alert days in a row. They're not alert days. These are impact days. So we go code red, like yesterday with the severe threat. That was a first warning severe weather day. These are just kind of letting you know, like, these days are going to be impacting you. Like, think of those little yellow exclamation points as this is going to impact you. Whereas when we turn everything red, like this was yesterday, when you see all the code red stuff, that's when it's all, severe. That's the severe weather warning day. Yeah. Chris is asking, why isn't Saturday an impact day? So at the moment, we have to just make sure and see how the models trend for those morning temperatures. If that continues, Saturday would probably fit the criteria for an impact morning, right? Because temperatures in Ocala, etc., would be below freezing, and yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Any major pattern changes coming to the southeast to bring things back to normal for a while? Yeah. Yeah, hopefully. I'm ready for that. Okay, so WDSU in New Orleans. All right, so you guys are asking about snow forecasting, right? So let me do this. I'm going to put on a video clip from our sister station, WDSU in New Orleans, as they're covering the snow. Give it a second. Let me just size this correctly. Do that. Scroll down.
Good morning. Today is an alert day. We're getting you ready.
Hold on. Got to run the
There's
ad.
a better choice to keep your business connected. All while saving over 30% versus big cable. Switch to our Better Choice bundle and get business-ready internet and voice solutions for seamless collaboration across your people and...
All right, hold on. Let's let the ad go through. And then we'll play WDSU. This is our sister station in New Orleans. Just because you asked, like, what New Orleans is looking at. And the reality is, A, there's no better way to talk about local weather than from a local weather team. And B, my company has a sister station there. So why not lean on them for their coverage and just kind of hear what they have to say, right? There's no better way to do it. So let's listen in to WDSU in New Orleans, hear what they have to say.
Is an alert day. We're getting you ready for tomorrow. So winter forecast timeline, we're now 0 to 1 days away. So 24 hours away. Here's what I can tell you. We can give you the exact timing, the locations, the overall impact that we can expect to see from all of this. So let's just get started. Winter storm warning for all of us here. This is all day Tuesday. So starts exactly at midnight, goes all the way through the day. We're watching this low pressure system develop down near Texas. As it does, we're watching as it continues to move on over towards our direction. So we've already got the cold air in place. We're just waiting for the precipitation to move over. So timing of this is expected to change, but this is the general timing of it. Likely by tomorrow morning, this time we'll likely see a little bit of a wintry mix trying to enter in. Now, a lot of this going
Just figured I'd skip to the part where we talk about how much snow. All right, let's listen.
be the cold weather that we have to worry about. Here's what models are trying to pull together as far as totals. So when you do snow totals, you usually double it. So 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 5 to 10. But I do think this is going to be more in the 4 to 6 inch range. But this is going to look different in about 6 hours. Blowing snow, if you've never driven in snow before, I just came from Ohio 5 years, and it is very difficult. Visibility will be an issue. That's why very happy that a lot of things are going to be closed for tomorrow. We could also see glazing of ice as well. Overall impact for all of us, not going to be great, especially as you're heading back towards Baton Rouge, out towards the Lake Charles area. So we're all going to see those.
Okay, so clearly we can just infer that that is going to be some really crummy weather for our friends over in New Orleans. So yeah, to answer the question, yuck. It does kind of make me feel a little bit better about our forecast, right? Like we're looking at this more of a, well, that could be fun. But for our friends in other parts of the country, this is not going to be fun. This is going to be a rough one for them. All right? So that's kind of where we're at. All right? Questions, comments, concerns, my friends? Anything? So we've got cloudy but chilly but dry weather today. Then tomorrow, Wednesday, and even into Thursday, it's kind of looking crummy. It's not looking good. Okay? Yeah, I have no idea. So I'm going to have to figure out with the boss exactly when and where I'm moving around, doing the things in the weather lab. I will take y'all for the ride, though. We're going to do this together. Yeah. Northerners will say 4 to 8 inches is nothing but a school delay. Yeah, but you're used to it and equipped to handle it. The South has no plows, salt sands. Yeah. Carbon Fiber over on YouTube says ice is arguably more problematic than snow or rain. I would agree. Yeah. Millie says she's right on about the driving. Yeah. So there you go. Terry says, so expect anything, right? Hey, things are changing constantly. That's the way weather goes. So we just have to watch it. All right. But I will promise you that I'll take you along for the ride, whatever we end up doing in the weather lab. All right. All right, friends. That's it. Be good. Sound good? Have fun? Be the sunshine in someone else's day? Yes? All right? All right. Listen, be good. I will see you all tomorrow morning. We'll have some crummy weather to track. I have to make sure that our radar is set to do the weather type. That way, if it tracks some sleet or some snow, that sort of thing, it can handle it. Don't do that very often.